The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Ads with Simon Pound from simonpound.com.
Yes, talking ads, it's the advertising feature. Simon Pound joining us. Hello to you, Simon.
Hello to you, Wammo, sir. How are you?
Very good indeed. You've got a bunch of ads for us today, a whole selection for us to run through. Let's start them.
Yes, indeed. First up, there are a couple of big ads that have been shot here. The local television production industry has been, advertising production industry has been tremendously busy, but mostly with international ads, and a couple have recently been released. One is this one for Sony, a camera that's able to do a sweep panorama effect as you use it, and they shot their ad on the edge of Lake Wakatipu down in Queenstown, and it's a very kind of nice international flavoured ad. Everyone looks very international. You wouldn't really know where it was, but it is quite beautiful.
Well, that's right, and now I do recognise it, but initially I thought, maybe it was some Bavarian lake or something.
Yeah,
right?
or maybe something a little bit kind of Mediterranean-y, or it could be Switzerland, or it could be Corsica. You know, it's just kind of generally European.
Yeah.
But and it's a nice little ad with the idea that as soon as the camera comes out, everyone wants to be photographed on it and in the picture.
And
capture everything is the idea.
Well, and I'm totally sold on the product. I think the whole panorama idea is looks really cool. The ad makes it seem really cool.
Well, yeah, that panorama thing is an interesting thing. Like the 5D Mark II Canon and the 7D Canons, which are very popular cameras at the moment in that they are digital SLRs that give you full HD filming capability. But the one place they fall down is in that sweeping panorama shot, because it's a lot of information to pass over the sensor.
Yeah.
And so there's a little bit of a lag if you do the sweep. So if Sony have actually got the sweep thing sussed, that will be an enormously helpful thing. Quite a few advertisements have been shot on the 5Ds and short videos and the like.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which are very cool. The next one there is another one that was shot in New Zealand. It's the Honda Impossible advertisement. This is a very popular ad from 2005, I believe it is. It was shot here originally. It shows a guy who is dressed up in a white racing suit, and he jumps onto his Honda, and it shows him going through a series of Hondas, through motorbikes, through scooters, through racing bikes, up to Formula One cars, a jet boat, and then it had him in his last shot flying in this jet boat off a waterfall and then coming up in a balloon. And it's called the Impossible Dream advertisement, and it was a very popular ad. It showed a whole range of different Hondas. It has a lovely song behind it, and it worked very well for them. And they've just updated it. They've been back here filming, and they've just released it, and it now has an extended end where they bring into play a house, they bring into play a hydrogen fuel cell car, the CRZ hybrid coupe, the Honda Jet, and the SMO robot. So they've updated it and extended it a little bit, which is quite a cool thing to do.
Yeah, and it was a very rousing tune.
Isn't it a rousing tune?
Indeed. And it's a long ad. I couldn't imagine this running on TV very often, would it, Simon?
Well, it's for 28 territories around Europe, and so I imagine TV must be a part of that plan. It's really been doing the business. It's gone from 2 minutes to 2 minutes 30, and the ending's quite kind of James Bond and slick and very nice.
Good thing. Some ads are actually made for the big screen, aren't they? And then they will cut them down for TV. But often you'll find some of these ads screening before movies.
Yeah, these ones with these really beautiful cinematic production values. And there's been a number of other ads like this that have been shot locally. There was a big one for Guinness, and there's been really it's been thriving. The industry was so busy over summer making these ads for international territories. So those are two kind of like really big ads out that were shot here. A couple of quite different things that also have been around the place. This is something I found at the Inspiration Room, which is a great blog for showing really interesting creative work all around the world. It's an insurance ad that uses a Venn diagram, and I do love a good Venn diagram. And this is just quite a basic ad that shows that the overlapping, you might need insurance when you have the overlapping interests of being in a city, being a there being a driver, there being a cyclist, there being a miniskirt involved, it being summer, and the hormones. And then when all of those things interlap, you have yourself an accident where the insurance is quite handy. And it's just one of these quite nice things where you've got to do a little bit of the work yourself to get the gag.
Yeah.
But it's a nice, simple, clean execution.
So much can be explained through Venn diagrams, Simon.
Yeah, there's a great one, times when I'm having fun, and then in a totally mutually exclusive circle, times when I'm wearing pants, which is quite a fun one that floated around. Another print ad that's quite cool is a Volkswagen ad that tries to make the point that sometimes things that are cheaper are not the thing that you want. So when it comes down to really important safety issues and the like, you're prepared to pay more in order to do better. And so the way that they've communicated this idea, which is quite difficult to tell people, look, you're better off to pay more. It's Volkswagen original parts is what it's for. So they're wanting people to buy original Volkswagen parts when their cars need repairing as opposed to knockoffs. So they're saying it's worth every penny by having two identical looking parachutes side by side, and one's got a price of $1,990 and the other one's got a price of $3,600. And if you look at them, there's nothing to separate them out except the price tag. And the idea is that if you were about to jump out of a plane, which one would you buy? And that's the question. Which one would you buy? And it's very clever because, the thing with these parts is they do look identical or you won't even see them. So why would you bother to buy the real one? Well, if it comes down to you being in a life or death situation, you'd want to have the one that's better. So I just think that's remarkably clever. And then another thing that's been doing the rounds in the last week is an agency in Britain decided to make up a slapometer coming out of the leaders' debates. Now, Britain's never had, New Zealand's always has these leaders' debates around the election campaign. So I'd kind of thought that maybe the rest of the world always did as well. But apparently this is the first year that there's been a televised major leaders' debate for the Brits.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just the two leading parties, the Tories and Labour, also the Lib Dems with their leader Nick Clegg got on as well. And he was an unlikely kind of public winner out of it, kind of a bit of a Peter Dunne. Lots of people really enjoyed the fact that he was quite separate to the other two parties and kind of really played on the fact that he said that they just sounded the same and he was a bit different. But in this slapometer thing, this agency has made a game where you can just, by moving your mouse across the screen, you can physically slap the leaders. And they did this as some kind of scientific poll to see which the person that people wanted to... So they'd watch the debate all at the same time on the television. And it became a real television event. Everyone's watching the debate at the same time.
Yeah.
And then when someone says something that they think's a nonsense, they slap them. And so by counting the number of slaps throughout the show, you should be able to tell who is making the most sense, who's connecting the most with the viewers, and who's saying the most slap-worthy things. Of course, political bias comes in and ruins it because people just slap the people they don't like.
Or slap them all.
Or slap them all. But as a concept, it's very cool. And it's also quite ridiculously satisfying when someone's talking nonsense to be able to slap them.
Just a little quick slap. It's just, I find it very satisfying, isn't it?
It's quite disturbing how satisfying it is.
Yeah.
So I'd very much like to see one done locally here for our next round of leaders' debates.
Indeed.
And that pretty much ties up. We've got time for the Wimpy Burger there as well.
Oh, maybe a quick Wimpy Burger.
There's a great video here for Wimpy Burger, which is a South African burger chain. They have a free glass giveaway thing. So if you buy a combo, you get like a glass, a Coca-Cola glass. And their way of communicating that is just this wonderfully odd thing where they've dressed people up like red dwarf transvestites and given them all these glasses with differing levels of water so they make different noises when you ding them. And they've got a quite unusual family playing a song thanks to the Wimpy glasses, which is just the simplest idea. You know, if you have lots of glasses at different levels, you could play a song. And they've just reached it in unusual, which is a very fun thing to watch.
Odd, very odd stuff. Simon Pound, thanks so much for telling us about these ads. Of course, you can view this as a video once again, so you can see what's going on as well at kiwifm.co.nz. Click on the show page link, the Radio Wammo show page. You'll find the archive YouTube channel there. See you next time, Simon.
Magic. Thanks, old boy.